She's Out of My League. It's number 6 in our Pick 10 comedy. And an interesting story with this is back in 2010 when this came out, my friend Brandon and I went to see this together. It is a romantic comedy, but it's one of those raunchy rated R romantic comedies. We went to see this together and hang out. Went to a couple movies. A story I already told in my review of The Town was that we were supposed to go see that Owls of Gold movie, which I think I already told it. I told it in that review too. But instead we decided to go see The Town because I looked like the better movie. We're more interested in that. And then this was on the TV, the commercials and stuff. Jesus Christ, notifications. Sorry. So we decided to go see this. And we talk about it all the time. We still quote this movie. We love this movie. And so now it's time to talk about this movie. She's Out of My League. And quite simply, it's one of those things where, like, it's basically one of those romantic comedy movies where you have this geek, nerdy-looking guy played by Jay Baruchel who ends up dating this beautiful woman played by Alice Eve, who at this point wasn't in the Star Trek movies yet. She would be in the next year movie, the next year, in 2011. She hadn't been in one yet. So, yeah, essentially it's that kind of romantic comedy with very, very adult humor, as it's rated R, and some pretty good, side characters in it. This, actually, while there are no connecting actors, I forgot to write down Charlie O'Connell as being in one movie. Okay. There are no connecting actors in this to any of the other movies I've done. There is a connection to the movie Cloverfield because actors Mike Vogel and T.J. Miller are in this film, playing the characters of Jack and Stainer, respectively. And they were both in Cloverfield 2 years earlier. So, yeah, they have that connection. Although Mike Vogel is, like, he's in another movie where you can't tell it's him because his hair is longer. I don't know if that's Cloverfield or it's another one. I don't know. But yeah. So like I said, the story is that Kirk is basically, he's a loser. He works for the TSA at the local airport. His family is nuts, as he's got a mom, dad, a brother, and his brother is engaged to a woman who I know from, she's the girlfriend from the McGuffies, and she's in here. She was Joey McIntyre's girlfriend on that show, and she's the fiance, and she's pregnant. It's one of those things. But they never explained it. Are they getting married because she's pregnant, or did they get engaged and she got pregnant afterwards? I don't know how long they've been engaged. I don't know. But also, Kirk's ex-girlfriend, Marnie, has been adopted by Kirk's family, basically, after they broke up. And she's got her own new boyfriend, Ron. And they're a part of this family, even though, like, that would never happen. I mean, like, if you're dating, I get, like, your family is gonna draw a liking to someone you're dating. But after you've broken up with them, it is customary that they have nothing to do with them, because they're no longer a part of the family, unless, of course, like if they had a child together or something, I could see it. But no, they invite her to all the family gatherings and everything. It just doesn't make any sense. So Kirk is working in TSA when Molly shows up. She's going on I think it's like a business trip because she's a party planner. She's taking the plane. She's going to be back a couple days later. She forgets her phone, and this is the setup. Kirk then brings her phone at this thing that she's planning the next day or a couple days later, whatever it was. He brings with him his other friend, played by Nate Corddry, who's married and keeps making Disney references. Because I think he's like, this reminds me of Aladdin, going to see Princess Jasmine, and this is the palace. Okay, and who are you? I'm the genie. He's wearing blue, so that makes sense, but yeah, and then at the end, he does make the reference. It's a tale as old as time. A song as old as rhyme. We get it. Alright? One of the best parts of this movie, though, is T.J. Miller as Stainer. He's just, I love the guy, alright? Despite what his personal life is, the allegations against him, whatever. In movies, strictly in movies, I love him. I think he's good in this. Deadpool, he's great. I think, to a certain effect, he's okay. He can be good in Age of Extinction. Actually, I kind of like him in Age of Extinction. I was actually upset that they killed him off. I know he's typical side character number 1, but come on. And I think he's good in this. He's the character that sort of fucks up as he keeps talking about, she's a solid 10 and you're like a 5, maybe a 6, you know, that sort of thing. And, you know, based on his relationship experiences. And they kind of go into that with the lady that works at the concession area or whatever it's called at the airport. They have a conversation there later where he's like, it's not that you were never good for me, you were never good for yourself, which is basically what she's telling, basically what's happened with Kurt, because Stainer messed up his self-confidence. There are some unnecessary scenes, like I don't think we need the scene where he and Molly are getting a little hot and heavy, and he prematurely arrives, and then the parents show up, and the dog licks his crotch in it. That's not necessary. It feels like okay, so I don't mind romantic comedies, but I'm not a big fan because more often than not, there are stuff where you have the basic courting them and dating, and you get the montage of the dates and everything, and then at a certain point, they have to have the breakup in the third act so that they can get back together at the end of the movie, and that's what this does. But they do it twice for some reason. The first thing is when her parents show up, which is they're actually played by Alice Eve's real parents, which I thought was kind of cool, because he's jizzed in his pants. He can't get up or shake hands, so he takes off nervously. And then this causes a sort of rift between them that only serves to spread out the runtime. And then he shows up at this air show that he knew she was going to be at, because in the scene previous as well, which you know was going to play into the end of the film, or at least into the breakup part of the film, is that her ex, Cam, played by Jeff Stoltz, not to be confused with George Stoltz from Seventh Heaven, twin brothers. Jeff Stoltz shows up, and as soon as you see him, like, oh, this guy's going to be trouble. And they got exes on both sides. There's him and there's Marnie. The thing with Marnie is she doesn't want nothing to do with Kirk. At the beginning of the movie, he's like, oh, I think we should get back together. And she's like, oh, you know, I'm with Ron, and your family loves me, and, you know, but no, then I get back together. But then as soon as he shows up with Molly, like, they're in the pool and everything, and then they go to dinner, she comes up, she gets all dolled up, she's, you know, whatever, and, like, when they're like, hey, why don't you come in the pool? She goes, no, I don't have a suit. Oh, it's okay, underwear would be cool. She said, underwear would be cool if I were wearing any. So then when Marnie gets, and I do like how they're all, ooh, when Molly says it, but then when Marnie gets there, she whispers to Ron, I'm not wearing underwear. They're all like, okay, we're done eating. I think that's kind of a funny contrast that they think it's hot with her, but Marnie, who is honestly a very gorgeous woman herself, she was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I don't remember the actress's name. It's on the case, I think. No. Lindsay Sloan. Yeah, she was Sabrina's friend, not Sabrina the Teenage Witch, in like seasons 2 and 3. And then disappears in season 4. They got rid of like 2 characters in season 4 of that show. It's really weird. Val, I think was the name of that show. But anyway, yeah, there's that contrast there. But as soon as, like, it's seen that Kirk is finding someone else, she starts trying to creep her way back into his life. Like, oh, I don't think we ever should have broken up. Even though the thing is, like, she's like saying, oh, we should get back together. But, like she's talking to him at the airport. Like, we get back together. And she goes, and I may even consider breaking up with Ron. And they're like, you're still with Ron? And you want to get back with him? And by this point, he's like, nah, no thanks. No thanks. Because he's happy with Molly. And then you have the breakup. And of course, it was fueled by the ex-boyfriend Cam, who says, because he's thinking that she's perfect. So he's like, she has that defect. So you say that someone has a defect, you're going to start to worry. What is the defect? What is it? 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 And then it turns out it's just webbed feet, which I also have. I have webbed feet. Ain't no problem. It's a little hard to walk sometimes, and you can't wear freaking flip-flops. Don't get me started. I had a pair of freaking Marvin and Martian flip-flops trying to walk around. Whew! You could not walk anywhere in those things. My feet killed me. I could not walk in them. No way. Oh, flip-flops, you shouldn't be walking anywhere. Anyway, if you're going to walk somewhere, wear shoes. I have sandals, but I wear tennis shoes if I'm going to be walking because it's better for your feet that way. Trust me. But yeah, flip-flops are a no-go for me because of my webbed feet. So, I'm with your sister. But because of this, he was very insecure, and it turns out, you're just trying to find something, you can grab onto, an imperfection, grab onto so you can justify being with her, which is the case. And so, they break up, of course. And then now it's up to Stainer, of all people, to get them back together, because they're Branson bound, and he's with Marnie. And I still find it funny that even though he's with Marnie, and the rest of the family's there, Ron is also there. Which I think it's funny in itself, because he's like, I'm with Marnie now, but Ron is also there. So, he doesn't question that. Nobody questions that. I'm starting to think, if she broke up with Ron, he'd still be there, and she'd get another boyfriend, and besides Kirk, and the new boyfriend would be there. So would Ron. So would Kirk. And it's a really weird family dynamic. And it sounded like him there for a second. It's a really weird family dynamic. But, yeah. It's really weird. Stainer tries to get him off the plane, but he's taken off by security, which he's security, so what? I don't know. Then Kirk starts to realize, hey, Stainer's right. I shouldn't be here. But they won't let him off the plane because, and this has to be complete and total bullshit for purposes of the movie to keep it going to the perfect 90 whatever minute mark. They say because they're pulling out, if they stop the plane, redock, and let him off, there'd be a $25,000 fine. I think that's bullshit. Are you telling me that if someone had a nervous breakdown or needed to get off or there's a medical emergency, you could not stop? I understand it's just he doesn't want to get on the plane anymore, but there are multiple reasons why someone would need to get off the plane. You're telling me that you cannot stop it whatsoever without having to find the person that stops the plane. That's bullshit. If that is true, that is just not right. It feels like they put that in the movie just so they can run the timeout a little bit. Meanwhile, Stainer has called Patty, that's Molly's friend, played by Kristen Ritter, who's been seen throughout the film, and hates Stainer. Stainer hates her. And he calls her to get Kirk and Molly back together. So she takes Molly to the airport, and he's just runs through. And there's this guy, Fuller, who is the mayor from the Yogi Bear movie, and he's been in various commercials. Blonde hair, glasses, probably in his mid-40s. That guy, you know what I'm talking about. And he was seen at the beginning of the movie. He is their boss, but he is not respected at all. He's not treated like their boss. There's the thing at the beginning where Kirk's just gonna let Molly through because everything, and he's like, oh wait, I think I need to pull you aside because she's hot, of course. And I need to pull you aside. I need to check you. Whoops, oh look at that. You just waved it on your tie clip. No, I didn't come through. And then and then here he's trying to stop Stainer getting through, and Stainer's like, I will end you, basically. I'll fuck you up, basically, what he tells him. And so he lets him through. And they get there, and they see that it's, you know, it's already departed, but it hasn't left yet. So he calls Jack, that's Mike Vogel's character, and he's like, stop the plane. He's like, done and done. First of all, doesn't ask what plane. So how does he know what plane? He must know which plane Kirk is on, if he even knows that he's going through. I don't know. So he does it. And then at this point though, there is a want moment before this, where basically Kirk tells off everyone except for his mom. Fuck you, Dad, and fuck you, Marnie. Fuck you. First of all, he doesn't say fuck you to Ron, who's always there for some reason. And his mom. Everyone except for Mom, you know, doesn't appreciate me or whatever. And then he's forced to sit back down. And I call it bullshit, because they're like, he's like, is there, unless she had to go sit in? And she's like, we're full. While right behind her, there's an empty seat. Right behind her. There's clearly an empty seat right there. But no, we're full. Bullshit. It's right, we're 2 seats behind her. There's an empty seat. There's no one there. Oh, we're full. Put him there. Just put him there. And he forced to say, oh, that's first class. No, first class to me. I'm sorry, but no. Just put him there. But anyway, he gets off and he's starting to walk real fast. He takes off the Branson bound sweatshirt. And we gotta run out the time a little bit. So I do like this though. We have a fight between Kirk and Marnie. As Kirk's trying to get away, he calls Stainer. Stainer's like, dude, we're out here in front of the gate, which, why didn't he see them before? Or did they just, you think, no, it doesn't make any sense, because they would cross paths on the way there. Some way, shape, or form. So it doesn't make any sense why they missed each other. I don't know. Maybe he was, they would be focused on finding him, but he would be focused on finding them. I still don't understand it. And he's like, okay, I gotta find Molly. We're right here, you gotta come back. So he gets to the end, he goes to turn around, and he gets clotheslined to hell by Marnie. It's like a clothesline, something that JR would go, my God, what a clothesline from hell. Jesus, Marnie. The point that Kirk's just like she really knocked him out. Like it was really him that took it. I don't think so, but Jesus. And then they have this cart they're on, fighting back and forth. And he grabs it back and goes, what did she say? What does he say? Something like, I want to break up with you or something. Knocks her down. We don't see her again. And then, of course, standard ending to a romantic comedy. They get back together. And, yeah, it's the end of the movie. They've shown that he's learning how to fly, too, at the end, which I guess is a call that he wants to be in aviation, but, you know. And they do also admit that, because earlier in the film, she lies to her parents about what he does. She just says he's in aviation, but, you know, yeah, it's a good movie. Man, I still enjoy it. It's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is that it does feel like they're trying to run out the time. 2 breakups, sort of. Like, the first one's not completely a breakup, but the second one is. I don't think it needed that first one. Like, even if it was just about jizzing in his pants, just was it necessary to bring him up? I don't know. But I'm moving on to the next pick. 3 left, folks. And I really should have used 1 dice last time instead of 2. I don't know why I used 2. But I'm not going to do that now, because we only have 3 left. 4 left. Why did I say 3? So, do it differently here. I'm gonna hold it with my left hand and do it right hand. Duh. 1, 2. All right. Number 2. Upside down again. It is upside down. This one is my super ex-girlfriend. Definitely is. Side A full screen. We're gonna have to, let's see what's the back of that look. This may be tentative. we'll see how it works. Because this is really scratched. This is one of the first Louis I bought out on my own. So I bought it from Shopko. I put it in the case. It's a two-sided, it's one of those double-sided, as you can tell. And it's not, look at, see how scratched that is? I don't know if you can see it, but it is kind of scratched. But both sides, we'll see. We'll see. It might work. We don't know. But it might. So, what are your thoughts on She's Out of My League? Excuse me. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.